Why South Sudan? An Every Village podcast where we answer questions about the world's youngest nation. The question of the day is, how do we honor the South Sudanese through media? Hey everyone, this is Tiana Johnston, the host of this podcast called Why South Sudan? So today we have a very special guest, and his name is not Andrew Brown. His name is Evan Mumbower.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Tiana.
Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Yes. Okay, so if any of our listeners listened to several episodes back, you actually heard of Evan and his story and how God brought him to Every Village. And yes, I call him, well, he has many faces.
Many faces.
I don't know if that's right. Many titles. I think he is the comedic relief for our office.
Well, if I need to be, sure. Yeah, great.
Very much so. But he's also very talented in reference to media. He has a vast array of knowledge in media.
That would be the correct way of saying that.
There we go. Yes, yeah. I suppose. So it's good. So I'm so glad you're here. And I'm glad that we get to dive into this topic.
Yeah, I'm excited for this topic as well.
This is something I'm passionate about. I used to be a trip leader. And so this was something that I would teach on teams specifically, but I think it's just really important for us to talk through and to really, I think to share why we care about the integrity and the honor of the South Sudanese, even through media. So would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. The first and foremost is we do take a lot of video, we take a lot of photos, we take a lot of just media capture of what's going on in South Sudan, just to be able to tell the story better to people back here in America. And we are doing that not to leverage what's going on there, and not to just use them for our gain, but we are there to tell the story of those that are in need, and then ask people, hey, this is how you can be a part of what we're doing. This is how we are impacting, and we need your help to make a wider impact. We need your help building a legacy and building a nation for Christ. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And we're trying to utilize media in a very dignifying way. We don't want it to be about how do we show distended belly kids and in the middle of a war-torn country. We don't want to show that. We want to show how God is giving life to people, how he's restoring wells, and wells are being repaired through our SWC, and how radios are bringing the gospel to the utter regions of the world. I mean, we want to show those things in a very dignified manner. And so whenever we go in, we don't just go in and start snapping pictures away and hoping people, are okay with things. We go in and we read the room. We figure out, okay, is it going to be okay to take these pictures? If there's any government officials or any soldiers or any military or anything we need to be careful of, we're obviously very careful about that. And we ask permission and we figure out, okay, how do we do this well? And we make sure that we are restoring dignity and not just taking it away, and not just utilizing the pictures to help elicit a response. But we want to tell a story.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
Anytime we pick up a camera, anytime we do that, we want to tell a story of what's going on in the South Sudanese. And then hopefully the call to action after that story is how you can be a part. And that's really where the rubber meets the road for us with media and connection with what's going on here in America and how they can be a part in South Sudan.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. I know it's something that I was very passionate about, especially living over there, because you go on a short-term trip and you're just like, oh, this is amazing. And, you've never experienced a place like South Sudan where it is, it's, I would say, below poverty in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That, people are living off of the land, and people have one outfit, to their name, or they might have one nice outfit that they only wear to church or on holidays. Yeah. But the thing is that, yes, you're going into experience this thing that you've never experienced before, but this is their life. This is their world, So I always like to think of it even the reverse. Right. If somebody would come here to America and they're just like coming to my house and snapping photos at me, it's like, whoa, hold on, like this is weird.
Yeah.
But then also too, it's like it is so important for us to share a story and share their story, but with integrity. And so my big thing was, if they would see it, would they be ashamed or would they feel honored?
Yes.
And I think that's where Every Village really does a beautiful, we really, really care about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think what you said there is very important. You don't want people coming into your home and just snapping pictures and taking video and telling your story, however context they want to do it. You want to make sure you're telling the story right. And that's what we go in and we do. We interview, we talk to them, we talk to people before we take their pictures. We get the story behind the picture, and then we tell that story along the way. So it's not just this nebulous picture that's out there, right? It's there's a person behind it. There's a relationship. There's an understanding of, okay, this person is going through this in their life, and this is what Every Village is doing to help impact it. This is what Every Village is doing to make it better or help them through this process, right? And so I really think that's an important thing. And I'll tell a story. When I was in Afghanistan, I made it was a choice I made. I went to this top of the house we were staying in. It was a compound. And I went to the top of it, and it was a beautiful night. The sun was setting. There was a caravan of camels and animals coming down the road. It was a very dusty road. And it was just a beautiful setting. And so I went on top of this house, and I was taking pictures with my larger camera. And I was on top of it taking pictures, and not 10 minutes later, a large group of older men from the village came where we were to the house, and they demanded my camera, and they wanted to see what I was taking pictures of and everything, which they had every right to do. I was a young 20-year-old guy that was on top of this house in the middle of Afghanistan, just taking pictures. And they came out and they looked at my camera. I showed them that I was just taking pictures of the sun and the setting. They thought I was taking pictures of their women. They thought I was taking pictures of for surveillance of various things. And so they were very wary of those things. And ever since that has happened, I've really become very cognizant and very aware of, okay, my pictures are not just my pictures. Now they're affecting an entire community. Mm-hmm. Now they're affecting how these people view me. And so trust can either be built or it can be lost.
Oh, that's really good.
And so we want to make sure that we're building trust. We want to make sure that relationship stays intact even after we're gone. And we're not just coming in just trying to make a mockery or leverage them for our gain. We want to make sure that we are restoring dignity and bringing honor to any pictures, any media that we capture.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, we actually, when I was in South Sudan this last year, we did a video of Teresa, Jock, and Tanj, and she got to share her story and everything. And something that I loved is that, one, I got to share it at a fundraising event. And so people got to see my friend, the one that I really care about. But the cool thing was that I then got to send it to her through WhatsApp for her to see what people saw, and for her to see her in the light that I see her in, which she's a beautiful, strong woman that loves the Lord and loves to worship. And it was just such a beautiful thing. So that's where I love media. I think it is such a gift to be able to, allow them to see themselves. I mean, even when we're over there, oh gosh, because these kids especially, they've never seen themselves. I mean, some have mirrors, some don't.
Right.
But it's just so when you take a picture, one, asking them if you can take their picture, but then, and it's surah, it's in Arabic.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. And so you ask if you can take their picture, and they're like, oh, yeah. And then you show it to them, and they just laugh. Oh, my gosh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, because they've never seen themselves. They don't know what they look like. They don't know what their facial expressions look like, and when they're smiling, what their true smile looks like, or what their teeth look like. I mean, it's so amazing to see somebody take a picture of somebody, much less a video. A video is just a whole nother world. Like if they're playing soccer or they're doing different things like that, you get this whole different expression Somebody who's really intense when it comes to soccer, they get that, they get that, focused face where they're like, oh, I'm ready to score that goal. And then you get the movements and all that fun stuff. But then if you just take their picture with all their friends and how they're interacting, you really see their personality. And they've never seen that before. Mm-hmm. I mean, we see it all the time. We can look at our cell phone, or we can look at anybody else's cell phone or anything. Social media gives us a good glimpse. And like a couple of podcasts back, we talked about social media and how that's going to affect them. Well, those are things that we want to be careful of at every village, to make sure that we're not utilizing social media as a comparison tool, but we want to use it as a storytelling tool. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that we are, once again, telling the story of how God has redeemed us, and the ability that every village has to make an impact in their community. Mm-hmm. How we're truly building a nation for Christ. How we're not just looking at this community as the next place that we can go in and say, okay, well, we're gonna start this thing, and we hope it gets better and everything like this. No. We are very intentional mm-hmm. about what we do, and the stories that we want to tell have to reflect that intentionality. Mm-hmm. And so we want to make sure that it is bringing honor and dignity through everything we do, mm-hmm. and seeing those faces light up on those kids or the community leaders, of seeing their picture or seeing a video or seeing anything like that, and they're seeing it for the first time. It just brings a whole nother level to it. And when you've been on a trip like that, and you've been to South Sudan, or you've been to other places around the world, and you've seen that where that person has never seen their face before, and now all of a sudden they see it, it just lights up the room. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure you bring dignity to that even after the picture's been taken, mm-hmm. after it's been stored in some data file somewhere, and you want to use it for a newsletter, or just telling what happened on the trip. You want to make sure that story's accurate, and you're not adding things to it, you're not embellishing things, you are keeping everything very dignified and very on point of what you experienced and the people that you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me of even, because when I was there, I would take pictures of their families, right. And when I come back to America, I would develop them, just Walgreens, super cheap. Yeah. And then I'd bring them back over and give them to the families. And it's like, they get to have this snapshot. They just have the memory of, right. Their child being smaller, or, even one of our friends there, his wife passed away from heart failure like 2 years ago. And I love that he has a photo of her, that he now has that, that he can savor that. And I think that's where media and photos are a blessing. Yeah. But I do think, here in America, we just have such a miscued view of it, because, we just have it at our fingertips, right. And we take selfies all the time, and we can put filters and, kind of morph it into what we want. But I think especially with missions, especially just like you said, you can make trust and you can break trust. Right. That's so good. Yeah. So kind of curious, just because of your background, one being in missions and then also working at a church, were you ever trained like in reference to this media of just like, or going on a mission trip, just how important it was to honor the culture? Just kind of curious.
I had some training. It wasn't ever official. It was always, we want to take pictures of people we have permission to take pictures of, basically. Mm-hmm. It was never a, hey, this brings dignity, or we don't want to leverage this, or we don't want to use this, ill, anything like that. It was more of a just make sure you ask permission first before you take their picture. In the warmer kind of cultures, right? They are much more willing just to get out and take pictures and things like that. In Afghanistan and in various other colder cultures and places that are a little more reserved or standoffish, and then asking for that. So really understanding the culture that you're going into is important. So understanding how they're going to perceive outside in media or outside bigger cameras or anything like that, really utilizing that in the conversation on the front end really helps develop out trust, because it's saying, okay, hey, I've got this camera. I'd love to take a picture of you and your family. I'd love to take a picture of your wife doing dishes or doing like that. So I always ask, regardless of what culture I'm in, because I always want to know that I'm building trust. And I'm not doing anything that people are like, oh, what's this guy doing? Really shifty, like, oh, I don't want to be taking pictures of, I don't want to be taken advantage of. And personally, I don't like when people come around me with a camera all of a sudden
right?
And they're just like, okay, now I'm just going to take a picture of you. Well, what are you going to use that for? I don't know what you're going to use that for. I don't know what it's going to be used for later on, and so on and so forth. So I want to make sure that we at Every Village are doing their best ability to bring dignity and honor to those and build trust with those as we take media, as we capture media, as we take photos, as we take video, whatever it may be. We want to make sure that we are bringing that trust in that great relationship into that.
I do think it's so easy, I think, for ministries even to kind of what you had dabbled on earlier in reference to, it's so important to keep the integrity of the story also, because it's so easy to kind of morph it or twist it or kind of highlight one really, really sad part instead of seeing the redemption side, know? And I think,
Yeah. And it is very easy to do that because you're caught up in the moment. I mean, you're like, oh man, that's such a great story. Everybody needs to hear that. And there's no way I'm going to be able to tell that story later on without forgetting this piece, right? And that piece was, so pivotal. And so I want to record it. I want to make sure that we tell it. But it's not your story to tell. It's not our story to tell unless we've been given access to tell that story. And I want to make sure we've always been true to the story that we're telling and never take creative license into somebody's life, creative license into somebody's story that has been a traumatic experience for them. We may look at it as an impactful story. They may look at it as trauma. And we have to be careful not to cross that line and utilize it for whatever over here when really this is a personal thing for them.
So good.
This is not something we need to let out, and this is their story to tell, and we shouldn't be telling it. They should be telling it the way they tell it, and in the same vein that they want people to understand it and hear it.
Man, so good. Oh man, I could talk to you for a long time about this.
I love this stuff. This is great.
Yeah. I value just the passion that you have for media, but also too the respect that you have. I remember we had I don't know if she was over social, she was social media, but she did like graphic design and stuff like that. And so she would, just find a photo and slap it up on, social media. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Like naked child, like take it down, you know? And that's where I really am very sensitive to that. Cause I'm just like, oh no, yes, this is culture and this is what you experience when you go on a trip. But again, by choice, if the South Sudanese would be fully clothed in a photo, yes, they would. So that's where it's like you always have to, you just have to, I think, care more about the person than the project.
Right.
And that's always something that Every Village has really been honed in on and really wanting to do right.
Yeah, and that's a great way of putting that, Tiana. Care about the person, not the project. I mean, I can make a great film, a great short story, a great thing if I put my own creative license on it. But am I being true to the story? And if I'm not being true to the story, then I have no business telling that story. But being true to who that person is, building the relationship, building that trust through media, through whatever method or medium that I have access to at that time, is where I should really be focused on as the marketing manager here, or as just a media creator. Is really focused on the story. Who am I telling the story about? Am I being true to it? Am I providing integrity? Am I bringing honor? Am I building that trust and that relationship with that person? Or am I just telling it because I think it's a cute story or something that I think is going to be impactful or something that's going to elicit a response from people as opposed to being true?
Man, so good.
Yeah.
I'm snapping my fingers. I'd clap too. So good. Oh, yes. Everything you said, I completely agree with. And I hope it encouraged our listeners too that, and this doesn't just apply to the South Sudanese, this applies to anywhere that you go and every person that you encounter.
Yeah. I mean, tourist traps are you can go do those and do whatever you want there. But when you actually go into a culture and you engage in a culture that A, you've maybe never been to before, or B, you have no business, like you were completely the odd man out in that particular situation, then you need to understand that culture and understand, okay, what am I going to do that's going to bring honor to this culture, and not say, okay, what story am I going to tell so I can get this, or this can happen to our organization or whatnot. And so I really think that's an important thing to remember.
So good. So good. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Absolutely. Love this. This is great.
I guess we will just have to have you on again.
I guess so. Yeah. I keep getting on the rotation, so I must be doing something right.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Evan. And all right, we invite everyone back to the next episode, as it is testimony time. We are going to be talking about what is God doing in South Sudan. Take care.